Talking about empathy often involves thinking about human gestures, a broken voice, a hand on the shoulder, someone who listens without interrupting. However, today millions of people receive words of support written by artificial intelligence systems capable of generating answers that sound understanding and careful. The question is no longer whether they can do it, but how we react to it. Before continuing, if you like this content, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and give it like. Your support is essential to continue creating more interesting videos on relevant topics. A recent study in communication psychology analyzes how empathetic responses generated by humans and AI are valued. It investigates what happens when people choose who they want support from, and if it makes sense to talk about empathy when it comes from a machine. Empathy is not a simple concept. It includes sharing the emotional experience, adopting the perspective of the other, and feeling compassionate concern. This shows that it is not just kind words, but complex psychological processes that AI cannot genuinely replicate. The lack of emotional experience in AI poses a problem. As mentioned above, AI cannot share the experience of the recipient, or have genuine motivation to alleviate their suffering. Therefore, any empathy generated by an artificial system is considered a simulation. Some researchers suggest that the important thing is how the recipient feels. If the person feels heard and validated, the authenticity of the sender may not be so relevant. This recipient-centered approach is key in the study. The researchers designed 4 independent studies to explore the preferences of the participants. Difficult situations were presented, and they were asked to choose between receiving support from a human or an AI system, ensuring that the answers were authentic according to their choice. The results showed that in choosing, the participants preferred mostly human support. However, they rated AI responses as more empathetic and comforting, which has been called the paradox of choice of empathy of AI. An interesting aspect of the study is the perception of effort. AI responses were considered more strenuous than human responses, suggesting that the perceived effort impacts on the assessment of empathy, although not in the way expected. The study also recognizes limitations, such as the difference between receiving support from a stranger and someone nearby. There are open questions about how context and individual preferences affect the reception of empathy. The authors propose an emotional coexistence between AI and human support. The key is not to replace but to complement human support, especially in contexts where it is limited. It is essential to respect individual preferences in the search for comfort.